Good afternoon. Diet Coke with Travis. It's October 10th. What a week it's been. Boy, I feel like taking a long sleeping pill and hibernating for a couple weeks till this mess unfolds. But today's been interesting. We just closed on the worst week ever in the history of the stock market. Some things that are coming out of it: the G7, the Great Seven, basically the seven economic giants of the world, are meeting right now, and 13 more financial leaders, as well as other countries, will be meeting tomorrow with the president. So we have 20 of the largest financially sound countries in the world will be meeting tomorrow. Secretary Paulson just came out of a meeting with the G7 today, announcing that U.S. Government is going to start buying our stocks of U.S. Financial banks and institutions, as well as maybe some even the big three automakers. So interesting times. First time ever the government stepped in and has talked about buying stock of U.S. companies since the Great Depression. So that will be interesting. Monday the market is closed. It's Columbus Day, so we don't really have. It's going to be interesting. It'll be a long weekend to find out what happens Tuesday morning when the market opens and what the global reaction is on Monday, as Monday is not Columbus Day is obviously not a holiday celebrated out of the world. It's unique to us, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this weekend. Also, gosh, some really tough numbers coming out of the auto industry. GM closed today at $4.89 a share, which is the lowest close since 1955, the value on their stock. And then Ford's not too far behind. They closed at $1.99, just under $2 a share. The $2 chuck for stocks on Ford. That's pretty ugly. 1982 is the lowest. How long has it been since their stock was under $2? It was 1982. So pretty scary. GM is losing $1 billion a month right now with their lack of production or lack of sales. And interviewing some automakers or auto dealers around the U.S., some of them are between 40 to 60% off of year-to-date sales on their lots, and as well as Capital One announced today that they're going to cut back most of their auto financing. So tough times for automakers, as well as GE. GE is another big company, and they're so well put into all the different areas of the stock market and as well as our industries, economic industries, and they're down 22% as well for the quarter. So interesting times. Some good news is the oil is plummeting. Futures for oil and people's desire for oil is really being cut off. They're even changing the number of barrels of production per month needed across the world because of this crisis. Just the money's not there. So we see a 3% drop in imports for third quarter, as well as we've seen a 9% drop in oil prices for September. So good news there. Again, the market's closed on Monday. To put this in perspective, the money that's been lost so far in 2008 in the global economy that we're in, $25 trillion has been erased off the global equities since 2008 or since January. So it's pretty amazing when you look at the numbers. Today was brutal for mortgage-backed securities. Just this week alone, we've seen over a 200-point decline or basis point drop in values of mortgage-backed securities, meaning mortgage rates have worsened this week between 0.5% to almost 0.75% in rate. So we saw 5 3/4 last week. I mean, we can see rates as bad as Monday morning when all the pricing and dust settles. It's about a 6.5%, with an APR of around 6 3/4. So to see a 0.75% jump in 1 week is unprecedented and unheard of, and especially I've only been in the industry 5 years, but that's very, very significant. So outside of that, the government's right here to help, and they're going to step in, and whether we like it or not, they're going to do some pretty drastic things this weekend with, like I said, the G7 and the other 13 countries involved. We'll have 20 countries all trying to address this huge issue. With our government stepping in and buying stocks starting next week, that's going to be a whole different dynamic we've never seen before, other than the Depression. So a lot of stuff on the horizon, but go into the week and have a good weekend. Nothing exciting to report Monday. I will be out of town next week in Sun River here in Oregon for a conference, the experience with my life and coaching company. So I'll be a little bit out of touch, but we'll be checking in, and hopefully I'll do updates in the morning from my hotel room if I can get a signal. So have an awesome weekend. We look forward to serving you, and be blessed.